shows. Can you help me? So I really wasn't into dating male entertainers because that's how most of them, they try to befriend you. They act like they want you. The next thing they, oh, can I wear that outfit that you wore a couple of weeks ago? So I kind of was just like paying him off, dusting him off. And then he was persistent. He really was. And so then I started going through his pictures and I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. And I just started really just messaging him back and really then starting the conversation and replying to him. And I wasn't really being short anymore. So that's how we met.
Now let's talk about a few things, because I'm trying to put in perspective, not just your relationship, is how the community around our relationships in general and what has landed you into this 2-year marriage. You guys are married now, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have a 12-year-old daughter and a 7-month-old son.
8 months now.
8 months. Yeah. Now, I want to talk about the hookup culture just for a minute. Okay. Not necessarily that I'm talking about you and Brian. I'm just talking about, sometimes when we go to these events or we go to these parties, we've seen people that maybe we've seen on hookup apps such as Grindr, or in the States, Jack, and those other Craigslist and all those things there. Now, how do you feel about the fact that you met Brian, but did you ever ask him about being online with,
when I met him back then, because again, I lived in Florida, so I wasn't trusting someone from Alabama, and we, so to be honest with you, my mindset was just to really, I don't know if I can cuss on here, but my mindset was just to really just hit it and quit it.
Okay, now I wanted to, because you said it perfectly. She stopped me. She told me to stop you there. So that was good. Let's talk about the children now. Mm-hmm. The 8-month-old and the 12-year-old. Mm-hmm. And you two, are you guys Christians?
We are, yeah. Oh, okay. Baptists.
Because I'm from Orlando. I'm originally from Orlando. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale in Miami. Okay. So I know most of the people from the States, around that area would be Christians.
We are.
Now, I almost said it the wrong way. Are these biological children?
So my daughter is, and our son, we adopted our son. So my daughter, when I met Brian, my daughter was 9 months old when I met him, during those times. And we talked for a few months, and then a few months I went ahead and had him come here to Tampa, and we had a good time. And so that's how we started. And so for 2 to 3 years, we did the long distance relationship thing. And my daughter, the day that he came to Tampa, she was 9 months old and she was spoiled. If someone held her, she would cry. If I left the room, she would cry. And being a Christian and a child of God, I pick up signs, and God sent me a sign that morning, and he reached for my daughter, and she reached back out for him, and she let him pick her up. And I was just like, that's not like her. Like, this is my daughter, like, it's my child. Like, if anybody pick her up or if I leave, she's going to cry. So I left the room to see if I was going to hear her cry, and she didn't cry. And I was like, she must like you, because that's not Sarai. Like, that's not her. So that was my first sign. I was like, wow, like, okay, well, my daughter likes him. So, let me continue to grow to like him. And so we did the long distance thing for 3 years. Like, whenever I was booked out of town somewhere, I would, send for him to meet me there. We'll meet up in whatever city and state I was going to be in. And then finally, we decided to make it official and moved him here. So over the years, he's always wanted to have kids. And I was against it because at this time, my daughter was getting older. And I'm like, I'm not starting over, because I had my daughter from birth. So with my daughter, I was in another relationship, and he and I planned to have kids, and so that's how I conceived my daughter. And we did the whole surrogacy thing from birth, right out the hospital. My daughter came home with us. So, I've already had all those experiences of the sleepless nights and the waking up, every 2 hours. So as she got older and he wanted to have kids, I didn't want to start over. I'm like, I just don't want to start over. Like, that was hell. But getting married, getting a house built, and then I had to, realize I can't be selfish. Like, I have to give this man the opportunity because he's now, vowed to spend the rest of his life with me. So it's only right that I do give in. And with our son, we had a friend of mine that I've known for many, many years ago. And she was pregnant, and she was going to give her baby up for an adoption, and she was going to an adoption agency. And she literally came, it was a secret. She came to my house right before the day after Thanksgiving to get some dressing and some ham. And she was, I heard her talking to our other friend who was taking her to Colorado to the agency she was going to go through. They house you throughout the rest of your pregnancy until you have the baby. And she was literally leaving 2 weeks after that date to go to Colorado to be housed until she had my son. And she told her friend who I know, she was like, she mentioned something about, after I had the baby, and I said, "You pregnant?" And she was like, "Yes." And she was like, "But I'm not going to keep it." She said, "I'm going to give him up for adoption." And I was just like, "Well, we should talk, because we're actually looking into having another baby, so we should really talk." And so she was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, we're going to go the natural route again." But I said, if you're already pregnant, you want to give your baby for adoption, we can talk. So we had a long talk, and we talked with my husband, and we even met with the child's biological father, and they came back over here to our house. They toured our house and talked with us. And that's what I appreciated most about her. Even though she was giving her baby for adoption, she still cared about the well-being of her unborn child. She literally, she brought him here. They looked up, looked at the house, see where he'd be sleeping at and make sure we had room. And, and I've known her for about 15 years. So it wasn't anything personal, but this is her baby. And so probably about 2 or 3 days later, she called me and she said, "Alex," she said, "we want you all to adopt the baby." And that's how it came about. And it's so ironic because people look at our son. Some people say he looks like Brian. Some people he looks just like you. He's mine. So,
Well, that's a wonderful story, Amari. Now, it touches me when Black people, we've always taken care of each other. We really have. Even in the communities, we fed people that we don't even really know in our community. And people just really understood how amazing the Black community is with each other when things aren't, concerning in certain ways, whether it's about religion or about work or lack of. And these things and it's not without the fact that we haven't been trying. Black people have been trying and doing for, like you said, years and decades. And now the opportunity has come for us to sort of make some headway and some decisions about things that we should have probably been doing from a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And you adopting a child and then having a 12-year-old, I couldn't imagine having a 12-year-old girl in the house with a same-sex couple without her little girlfriends coming over, and this is my parents. And how does that work? Have you had that?
We've had it. Like, of course, a child only